Okay, we are so excited now to be doing this demo card. This is a special fun fold called a Tricky Flip, and it is featuring the Holiday Mini Catalog Gingerbread and Peppermint Suite. So this is a really fun collection of products. The stamp set is called Frosted Gingerbread, and the die cuts that come with this offer ways to cut out these shapes, as well as the little peppermint candy stamped images. And it's just a really fun, sweet, kind of baking inspired stamp set and die set and paper. The paper pack is 6x6, perfect for card making. And it comes with these great images, again, that can be die cut, but also a lot of really fun patterns like stripes and plaids and polka dots and all kinds of things that are fun to play with to make your cards and scrapbook pages. So this card was inspired by another Stampin' Up demonstrating duo, a mother-daughter duo, Nancy and Kayla Forsberg. And I had a little bit of trouble with this the first time I made it, but I have a completed card here and I have practiced a few more times, so we are set with how to make this, and I will send all of the pieces and components to you to make it as easy as possible to put together. So what makes this a tricky flip card is that when you pull on these ribbons, it actually opens up these side panels, and so you have this complete card from left to right that says wishing you a Merry Christmas, and then it says Happy Holidays and has other images on here. And then in order to mail it and send it to someone, you can just very carefully tuck that back in. There are brads on the inside that help these pieces to pivot. And so sometimes you kind of have to tuck that in kind of aside the brads. But isn't that a cute card? So sweet, very fun. And a person who receives that will think you put a lot of effort into it. So let's find out how to make it. So I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to show you that we start with a little bigger piece of cardstock than we're used to. This one is 4 3/4 by 12, and it is scored at every 4 inches. Okay, so that's going to be our card base that helps to fold to make all these components for the tricky flip. Then for those side pieces, we have 2 real red cardstock pieces that are 3 3/4 by 6 1/2. They are scored at the 2 3/4 mark, and then very, very lightly scored at 5 1/2, because that's simply going to be helping us to place a piece of designer paper. So that doesn't need to be folded, only this one will be folded, but this one shows us where to put the designer paper. So we have 2 of those. And then we have 4 white cardstock rectangles. I've already done the stamping on those to make the side panel components. And we have some of the designer paper from the Gingerbread and Peppermint 6x6 paper pack. So these are going to help us with the side panels as well. So let's create the side panels following the example in our card. And so the first thing we're going to do is make those, or fold along those score lines, so we can add the real red kind of frosting designer paper here. Looks a little bit like the roof of a gingerbread house. I love it. So this will become the one that is shown on the left side of the card. And this one we're going to fold because this will become the one that is shown on the right side of the card. And we're just going to use our tape runner to add adhesive. And put that one together. Okay, now before we adhere too much inside here, we want to do the striped pieces here inside of our light score line. Okay, that matches what you see here. If I pull them out just a little bit, you can see that those striped pieces are behind there. But before we apply or adhere the white pieces, we want to make sure to attach that ribbon. The ribbon is crucial for helping us to do the actual pulling out of the side panels. If we don't have the ribbon, then those panels just kind of stay hidden inside the cards. We want to make sure that the ribbon is adhered first before we do the white panels. And it's tricky in this step too, because we have to make sure that for the Happy Holidays side panel, the ribbon is below. But for the Wishing You a Merry Christmas side panel here on the left, we want to make sure that the ribbon is above. So this one is going to be my Happy Holidays. I'm going to take my ribbon and kind of put some adhesive where I want it to be placed. Okay. And then just kind of fold it around. Then I know where to put my other adhesive. All right, so that's going to be hidden behind those panels. And you see it's on the bottom. Very important. All right, for this panel, the left panel, I need the ribbon to be at the top. So I'm going to place that there. And then I'm going to kind of tuck it around. See where I need to put my adhesive here. Okay. And again, those will be hidden. It doesn't matter if they're even or anything like that. We want it to just be a nice loop because that's what people are going to use in order to pull apart the card. All right, so then you will adhere your pieces to match the sample. So the one with the ribbon below gets Happy Holidays and the ornament coming off of the side. And just adhere it right on top of that ribbon so that we're covering the end of it. Same for this one. Lining it up as best you can, covering that ribbon. Okay, so that's the right panel matching the sample. And I'll do this side. Always have to fix my adhesive when I refill just a little bit. It's very temperamental. This is such a cute card. I think the people who bake cookies would love to receive it, but really anybody. It's just such a sweet, wonderful, cute card showing off designer paper and the fun components, including snowflakes or ornaments, trees or mittens. Just really, really cute images. All right, so that one matches the left panel in the sample. And again, the ribbon on this side is at the top. Okay, so now we get to the tricky part of actually inserting these or figuring out how to make the fold work. So I'm going to set aside the full sample and show you the one that we started to work on the other day so that you can see in order to attach these inside of our white piece, which I have here, we need to begin with the Happy Holidays one that has the ribbon coming down off the bottom. And we need to measure that, which I'm going to do for you ahead of time. So you will actually not need to measure it. I'm measuring it for you. 1 7/8 inches in the designer paper, and then about 1/4 of an inch or so up. That's where I'm going to make my hole using the hole punch. This is not something Stampin' Up sells anymore, but I'm doing this for you so you don't have to worry about that. If you wanted to get one of these, they're available at pretty much any craft store. Okay. So I'm going to make that hole, and then I'm going to line this up just like I have in the sample on the bottom panel, giving it just a little bit of border. And I'm going to punch that same hole out of the white. Right? Then I'm going to use one of our brads. We sell metallic brads now, or you might have a bunch in your stash. And I'm just going to insert that. Okay. So that is how this panel is going to get tucked in. Now, the temptation would be to adhere this panel right on top of it, but we do have to flip the white over. So this should be how your card looks at this stage. I will have punched everything for you, but you will need to attach the ribbon and these things, noting that it's Happy Holidays and the ribbon's coming down below. Then we flip this over to do the next panel, the Wishing You a Merry Christmas panel, which is going to be kind of like this. Again, I need to punch the hole. Let me show you on the one that's in progress already. It's actually, sorry, it's going to be like this. It needs to be upside down in order to work. So we have the ribbon on top of this piece, but this needs to be upside down in order to flip out of the card the correct way. All right, so this is what it needs to look like. Let me punch the hole and this will be done for you. 1 7/8 and up about 1/4 inch. So the important part to pay attention to is that I will do this punching and everything, all that business for you, but in order to make the card flip the right way, you're going to need to adhere these then upside down. Make sense? So when you're working on this, you'll need to make sure that yours always matches what you're seeing in the video. All right. And line this up and punch that hole out of the white. And then insert a brad. Doesn't matter what color brad they are, they're going to be hidden. Okay. So just like the sample over here, we've got this first panel down here. We've got the next panel upside down here, okay? And the way that we make this all work is that we're going to fold that in and basically sandwich it, okay? We want to sandwich that down. And then we're going to do this one and we're going to sandwich that, okay? Now, before I glue these, we want to make sure that we know which way, or we want to make sure that we know what we're doing so that when they flip out, they're going to be the right way. So this one, see how I've folded it, sandwiching those pieces in. I've got blank white on the front and blank white on the back. All I would do is turn this over before I put anything on the front because I want to see where the pieces are coming out. So you see if I have it this way, everything's right side up on this side and everything's right side up here on this side, okay? So this is how I'm going to end up gluing it, but I'm only gonna glue where this part is not. I only wanna glue a little bit on the side, letting it have some leeway to move, okay? So you're gonna need liquid glue for this. And I would recommend holding your pivot kind of like that where the point is here so you can see where it's not going to catch on any glue. You just want it basically on this right side, not very far in. You can have a little in the corner because it's never going to touch the corner, okay? But you want it to be able to move, all right? So put that there and then you can fold that over and we're going to make sure we hold that, really kind of press it down so that it really, really sticks. Okay, and then within this sandwich, same idea, but we have this brad to worry about. So we're not going to put any in the middle here. We don't want to restrict the movement of that brad. So stay away from the middle when there's a brad there showing. But again, you're going to do here, kind of in the corner, just on the edge. Okay, a little bit there. Just my ribbon a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to hold that down. Pressing it and giving it a little bit of time. So I want to make sure that that really sticks. See, I have a little bit of glue here. That's okay. That'll get covered up. All right, so when we undo this, okay, all we have to do is turn this so it's right side up before we glue anything to the front of the card. So let's keep it open like this so that we know this is the front of the card, not the back. And let's look here at our sample. Okay, and then let's put the components together. So I'm going to actually keep the sample here, move the one in progress over, because right now I want to focus on putting together the card front. So I've given you a white cardstock rectangle and a pear pizzazz cardstock rectangle, and I want to adhere this ribbon using Scotch tape around the back before I adhere the white onto the pear pizzazz. So I'm just going to place that there, grab my roll of Scotch tape. This is that trick I like to use because it'll be hidden, it won't be shown. So it's just an easy way to get that ribbon piece where I want it, keep it secure, okay? And then I'm going to use adhesive runner on the back of this piece. That's going to form our decorative card front. These are really striking combination to have this real red cardstock on the sides and then the pear pizzazz. I love that red and green. Just slightly different than the darker green, which would typically be paired up with a dark red. Okay, then we're going to take some of the little peppermint candy-like shapes that were in the designer paper that I cut out with a die cut, or you could cut them by hand. But we're just going to take an assortment of those and we're going to kind of spread them out around the card front, leaving room for our focal image. And this one I chose trees. You can let me know if you would like snowflakes, trees, mittens, or stars, or I'll surprise you if you like. But there are lots of different ones in the designer paper pack, so I like to vary it. So let's put the trees down first so we know exactly what room we have. I'm going to just do adhesive runner for the first one, and I'll kind of tuck it behind there, and I'm going to use pop dots for the second one. Using up my edges here. The whole sheet of pop dots works, so we want to make sure we use it up. Come on. All right. We'll pop up that tree. Cute. And then we'll just use adhesive runner on all these little peppermint candies. So we don't need those to pop. We'd like the tree to be the one that pops. So you can have fun with this. Tuck some of them under the ribbon if you'd like. Kind of wherever you'd like to see them. Just be playful and kind of showing the spirit of the season. There goes that adhesive runner sticking on me again. So I just fix it and put a little bit more on. All right, that looks really good. And then we have the bow that we're going to add with a glue dot. Need to actually pick the glue dot up with the ribbon here. There it is. Place that there. Come on. Sticking to my fingers, which have glue on them. Okay, and then we can add some of these wonderful gems. So you received a packet of these in your event bag or packet or box. And so you can add a few of these just to kind of jazz it up a little bit. Let's just stick to my nail instead of the card front. Try again. I love that these have a little sparkle in them. It's very sweet. So you can add 2 or 3 or whatever you like. And then we're going to bring over the card in progress. And again, you want to make sure that when the piece or the side components are laid out, everything is right side up. And then you'll attach this to the front of the card with adhesive. It's a little more of an involved card, but you could certainly make these on your own with any theme, featuring any designer paper. Be very, very sweet, and the person will feel so special receiving this. So again, then you just want to tuck it in, kind of not acknowledging that there is a brad on each side. So you kind of have to tuck it in around that. And you tuck in that side, and there is your card. So I will tuck in the sample that we have as well. So cute, so fun. Merry Christmas, everybody.